Let's go to page 233 and start with number 39. Number 39, you have 1 minus parentheses cosine theta minus sine theta squared over cosine theta, and this is equal to 2 sine theta. So to verify, you choose the side that's more complicated and you simplify. So this side is more complicated, so let's simplify this side. So first, let's go ahead and square this out, and be careful with the parentheses. So do it one step at a time. So square this, you're going to get cosine squared theta, and you square that, you're going to get plus sine squared theta. Now binomial square, you're going to get the middle term. Middle term, just multiply all this together, so minus 2 sine theta cosine theta okay, and over here the sine squared plus cosine squared, this is equal to 1. Okay, so this is equal to 1. And then go and get rid of parentheses, so distribute, so you get 1 minus 1 plus 2 sine theta cosine theta over cosine theta equal to 2 sine theta. And 1 minus 1 will cancel out, so this cancel out. So now all you have is this over here. Okay, so this is gone. So now you can cancel the cosine, and so you end up with 2 sine theta equal to 2 sine theta. Now you have to make sure that the last step, they have to be identical, and then you put a check mark. Okay, let's go to number 41. Okay, you have tangent W plus 1 over secant W equal to sine W plus cosine W. So this side looks kind of harder, so let's go and try to simplify these. And when you simplify, if you're not sure what to do, change everything to sine and cosine. So let's do that. So you're going to get sine over cosine. And secant is 1 over cosine. And this I'm just going to put ditto mark for now. Okay, now to add this, I need to get common denominator. So I get sine W plus cosine W over cosine W. You know what? I'm going to just write it now. And the reason I'm writing out so I can see what's on the other side, easier for me to visualize. Okay, now for complex fraction, you can multiply you can multiply by common denominator. So common denominator is cosine W, so multiply by cosine W. Okay, so again, to simplify your complex fraction, and this cancel out, and this cancel out. So you end up with sine W plus cosine W equal to sine W plus cosine W. And that's it, so check. Okay, let's go to 43. Yeah, 1 over 1 minus cosine squared theta equal to 1 plus cotangent square theta. Okay, so first you need to recognize these. Okay, use your identity paper from here. So if you move this over, so 1 minus cosine square is equal to sine square. So this becomes 1 over sine square theta equal to 1 plus cotangent square theta. Now 1 over sine square equal to cosecant square theta. Okay, again, make sure you know your identity. Okay, and then from here I'm going to use this identity over here, cosecant square is 1 plus cotangent square. Okay, I can use in this one. Okay, and this one it came from here. And that's it. Okay, let's go to number 45. Okay, you have sine square beta or sine square b minus cosine b equal to 1 plus cosine b. Okay, so notice this is more complicated, so I'm going to simplify this part. Okay, now this side, notice there's no fraction over here, and there's a fraction, so you have to find a way to get rid of that. Also, this is cosine, but this is sine. So in order to get rid of, we need to get rid of the sine. So you need to go and change that into cosine. So sine square is 1 minus cosine square. Okay, and this is the difference of squares. You need to factor into conjugate, so it will be 1 plus cosine, 1 minus cosine. And this will cancel out. So I get 1 plus cosine b equal to 1 plus cosine b. Check. Okay. Okay, let's go to number 47. Okay, you got 2 minus cosine square theta over sine theta equal to cosecant theta plus sine theta. Okay, so this is more complicated, so I'm going to simplify these. But notice all your identity is all ones. Okay, Trigonometry squared is always 1. So I'm going to break this into 1 plus 1, so I can use identity. Okay, so I got 1 plus 1 minus cosine square theta over sine theta. Okay, so you can 2 break into 1 plus 1, and notice this part right over here. Okay, that is the sine square theta. Okay, so that's equal to sine square theta. And notice there are 2 terms over here, so to match that side, I need to break this into 2 parts, right? So break into the 2 terms. Okay, and then 1 over sine give you cosecant. Sine square over sine will give you sine. Okay, and that's it. Check. Okay, let's go to number 49. You got tangent x plus cotangent x equal to secant x cosecant x. Okay, so this has 1 term, this has 2 terms, so this is more complicated, so that's going to simplify this side. Okay, to simplify, again, if you're not sure what to do, just go and change everything to sine and cosine. So tangent is equal to sine over cosine, and cotangent is cosine over sine. Okay, and now that's 1 term, but this is 2 terms, so means you have to add this together. To add this together, you need to get common denominator. So when you're doing a common denominator, always get your template ready and get your common denominator. So get sine x, cosine x. I always like to put a sine before the cosine. Okay, I'm just used to that. Okay, so now I have to figure out what's on the top. So the cosine already matched, so you need to, this one from here to here, you need to multiply by sine x. So this will give you sine square x. Same thing over here. So from here to here, you're missing cosine x. So you have to multiply by cosine x. So you're going to get cosine square x. Okay, so now you're ready to add this together. But if you notice, when you add this together, you're going to get 1. So this becomes 1 over sine x cosine x. Okay, and now 1 over sine, I'm going to do the cosine first because I'm trying to match this side. So 1 over cosine is secant, 1 over sine is cosecant. Okay, and that's it, check. Okay, let's go to number 51. You have 1 minus cosecant x over 1 plus cosecant x, and this is equal to sine x minus 1 over sine x plus 1. Okay, they look very similar, but cosecant is harder than sine, so I'm going to do this part over here. Again, if you're not sure what to do, change everything to sine and cosine. So you're going to get 1 minus, okay, cosecant is 1 over sine. Okay, so you have complex fraction. To simplify complex fraction, you multiply everything by common denominator. So common denominator is sine. So multiply every term by sine. Okay, so again, that's what you need to do to simplify complex fraction. Okay, so this times, so get the fraction rating. So this times I will give you sine x. This times I will give you 1. This times I give you sine x. This times I will give you plus 1. So a lot of basic algebra, okay, like factoring, complex fractions, adding fractions, and so forth. Okay, and that's it. Okay, let's go to number 53. You have cosecant square alpha minus cosine square alpha minus sine square alpha equal to cotangent square alpha. Okay, so something you have to notice is that whenever you have cosine square and sine square, you have to think about Pythagorean identity. So I'm going to group this together, and I'm going to factor out the negative 1. So factor out the negative 1, I get cosine square alpha plus sine square alpha equal to cotangent square alpha, right? Okay, so you can check, right? Negative times cosine give you negative cosine square, right? And negative times positive give you negative. And so this is equal to 1. Right? Cosine square plus sine square equal to 1. Okay, now you're going to use the identity. Okay, use the cosecant identity. The cosecant square equal to 1 plus cotangent square. Okay, and minus 1 equal to cotangent square alpha. Okay, I'm going to put parentheses so you know what I substitute. And 1 minus 1 we cancel out, so you get cotangent square alpha equal to cotangent square alpha, and that's it.